What if the first day in a strange school showed you more about yourself than it did about anyone else? Fucking first day of school. Halfway through the semester in a new town. Need I say more? Dad moved us here for a job. Could I be more of a cliche? My mom was mumbling something as she drove me to school. Being 15 sucks. Half the kids were driving themselves to school, and the other half were getting a ride from one of their friends who was already 16. I get to show up in the swagger wagon, chauffeured by my mom. I put my headphones in and vibed to Motionless in White all the way there. As we pulled up to the school, I flipped up the hood on my black The Plot in You hoodie and hopped out of the car. My mom was calling sweet, encouraging nothings from the car, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. As I was walking, I noticed the girls first. All of them were blonde-haired. Every one of them was wearing skinny jeans and a pink shirt that said, "I'm an influencer." Kinda weird, but whatever. Then I noticed all the guys. They all had mullets, black shorts that looked like swimming trunks, and sleeveless shirts that said, "Do you even lift, bro?" As I walked into the school, I looked around to find a guidance counselor's office, but I didn't see anything. It was just a sea of blonde hair and mullets. One guy was walking by me, so I stopped him to ask him a question. "Hey man, do you know where the counselor's office is?" He stared back at me, confused why I was talking to him. "Bro?" he asked, then walked away. A girl walked in the door behind me. I turned to see another blonde-haired, pink shirt girl. "Hey, do you know where the counselor is?" She seemed stressed as she answered me. "I can't even right now." She rolled her eyes and turned into a classroom. As I turned back to the hallway, the sea of blonde parted, and a girl was walking down the middle of the hall. Her wavy brown hair bounced and flowed behind her like the wind had come down the hall. The closer she got, the more I noticed her green eyes and the thick black eyeliner. Her red shirt stood out from all the pink. I must have stopped in the middle of the hall as I was looking at her, because from behind me, a guy ran into me. "Bro," he said to me angrily. "I'm sorry." I tried to tell him, but he just grunted, adjusted his backpack, and went on down the hall. I tried to look past him to see that girl again, but she was gone. "Hey, can you tell me where the counselor's office is?" I yelled after him. He looked back at me like he was thinking, "How could I be so dumb?" "Bro," then continued down the hall. "I just need to know where the counselor is so they can show me my classes. Today is my first day." The guy paused and turned around. He now had a crew-cut hairstyle, and he was wearing jeans with his tank top. "It's down the hall to the left. Second door, I think." "Thanks. I'm Ivan," I told him. His shirt is now a button-up flannel. "I'm Josh." He thinks for a moment. "Here, follow me. I will take you to her. I had a few classes, but that doesn't really matter." Then it was time for lunch. I scanned the lunchroom looking for a place to sit. I noticed Josh eating his lunch, talking with some other guy with a mullet and a sleeveless shirt. I sat next to Josh as he was mid-conversation with this bro. I think I died 15 times trying to beat the goblin in the Frost Knight's dungeon. The bro couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Bro." Josh noticed that I was sitting next to him. "Oh, hey, man." Then he went back to his conversation. "Have you heard of the secret chest right after you get into the dungeon? There is this ledge that, if you stand in the right place and jump, then you can go behind the wall, and there's the chest. It has a poison dagger. One hit." The goblin was down. The bro was staring at me confused, not listening to Josh's story. "Bro." "Oh, this is Ivan. He is new. He is an exchange student from New Zealand." "I'm from Iowa." Josh looked confused about his source of information. "Really? Everyone has been saying your dad moved you back after he finished working on a Hobbit movie." I could see on his face that he was trying to piece together how people came up with New Zealand. "Anyways, this is Brian. We just got the Chalice of Fortune. Have you played it yet?" I looked over at Brian. He was wearing a college football shirt with shaggy hair. "No, not yet. I wanted to get it, but with the move and all." Brian was quick to invite me over. "Tuesdays we play at my house. You can come over and we can create a class for you." Josh was all on board. "Yeah, that would be awesome. I could see you as a high elf." He kept talking, but I wasn't sure what he was saying. My eyes were caught by that girl from the hallway. She was sitting a few tables away. She was surrounded by bros and influencers. Who's that? My interruption took Josh aback. What? Who? I tried to point at her with my eyes. Her, with the brown hair. Josh looked over at her for a second. Oh, she's a bitch. Don't worry about her. If you were a high elf with sneak as a secondary skill. I interrupted him again. Why is she a bitch? She won't talk to you. She has never talked to us. She won't talk to anyone who is not at that table. I know a place you could get a really powerful staff. I found it myself. I have not even seen anyone else on YouTube who has found it yet. Have you ever tried to talk to her? Josh was so confused by my question. What? No. Maybe you're the bitch. Brian laughed at me as I was getting up. There was a spot next to her, so I took it. Hey, today is my first day here. Is it cool if I eat with you? Her soft voice comforted me, but her piercing eyes made me nervous. Yeah, sure. Brian and Josh looked at me in shock. My confidence was instantly shaken when the girl sitting across from me noticed I sat next to her. Ew! The girl from the hall came to my rescue. He's fine. He can sit with us. The influencer on the other side was disgusted. I can't even. The brown-haired girl finally gave me her name. I'm Rosemary. That's Gwen. Don't worry about her. Gwen interrupts Rosemary. Gwen is still a blonde-haired girl with a pink shirt. So, anyway, before I was interrupted, I started a new movement that I think could really change the world. I'm like so humble. And I think that the world would be so much better if everyone were as humble as me. So if you could all follow me for inspirational quotes and lifestyle hacks to be as humble as possible. The more followers I can get, the more people will see how humble I am, and they will try to be more like me. Could you imagine how great the world would be? I will send you all my new profile. Everyone at the table was so focused on Gwen and trying to find her new social that they didn't even notice Rosemary started talking to me. What's the plot in you? Rosemary asks. It's a metal band. Metal? They're not very heavy, are they? Yeah, they're pretty heavy. Then why doesn't their name look like a pile of brush? They're not like that. It's more melodic. It's better. So it's softer? Are they soft metal, like gold? Yeah, they're gold, you could say that. Do you listen to metal? I've heard it. I don't listen, though. What do you listen to? Nothing, really. You don't listen to music? No, not on my own. It's on in friends' cars and stuff, but I don't listen on my own. Why not? All songs of a band sound alike. All bands of a genre sound alike. All genres in a decade sound alike. After a while, all music begins to sound the same to me. Just 4 chords, over and over again. So what do you listen to? Are you one of those audiobook people? No. Enough interesting things happen every day. I think about the things that happened. I do that too. Always thinking about what I should have said. No. What happened, happened. If I said something wrong, then it made it more interesting. I already think you are the most interesting person I have ever met, and you didn't say anything wrong. Bro. Another bro was standing over me. He looked pissed. Rosemary spoke for me. This is the new kid. He's from New Zealand. Did you say what your name was? It's Ivan. Bro. Bro was obviously annoyed that I was sitting in what seemed like his spot. It's okay, Kyle. You can sit across from me, she told him. Of course, his name is Kyle. Kyle took the seat across from her, but his eyes remained on me. You guys dating? Bro, he said in an obvious way. I'm from Iowa, by the way. Not New Zealand, where people are Corey Taylor short, not Frodo Baggins short. Bro, Kyle says, not understanding a word I said. I wasn't too interested in talking to this bro, so I went back to Rosemary. So, did you ever listen to music, or did something change? Gwen interrupted their conversation. What are you doing, Zealand? Obviously, she has a boyfriend. Like, she is too nice to tell you to leave her alone. Obviously, she's not falling for you. You're just making our whole lunch awkward. I'm sorry. You're right. I will leave. I stood up and looked around the lunchroom. Maybe I should try to find a girl who's alone. Clearly, I don't need to approach the prettiest girl in school on my first day. I spotted an influencer sitting at a table with others but she didn't seem to be part of their group. She looked sad. "Hey, is anyone sitting here?" I asked as I approached her. She looked at me, confused about why I was talking to her. She didn't say that someone was sitting there, so I slid into the seat across from her, trying to act like it was normal. Before I had a chance to introduce myself, she just stared at me like I'd just spilled spoiled milk on her. "You don't get it, do you?" she said, loud enough for half of the lunchroom to hear. "You're the new kid. Everyone's watching you. And what do they see? You blow off the first people who are actually nice to you. Then you throw yourself at the most popular girl in school, who, by the way, has a boyfriend sitting right there. When that doesn't work, you come crawling over here like I'm your backup option." My chest tightened. Most of the lunchroom had gone silent. Even Gwen wasn't talking anymore. She leaned in, her eyes sharp. "You think you're special? You think the rest of us are just background characters in your story? No, what everybody sees is that you're just another jerk who doesn't bother to know anyone before deciding who they are. And now, that's what you are here, the jerk." The words hit harder than anything Kyle or Gwen could have said. My face burned as I stood up and walked away. At first, the lunchroom still looked like the same repeating pattern. Mullets, pink shirts, influencers, bros. But when I slowed down, I started noticing the cracks. A bro hunched over a sketchbook, shading some monster he'd drawn. An influencer girl scrolled her phone, her fake smile dropping when she looked at her text, with no response. Even Kyle wasn't glaring anymore. He was staring at Rosemary like he was terrified she might slip away. They weren't clones, they weren't extras. They were just people. I spotted Josh and Brian across the room. My stomach twisted, but I forced myself to walk over. "Hey," I muttered. "Look, I was the bitch earlier. You guys were actually cool to me, and I..." The words stuck in my throat. The whole lunchroom had gone quiet, eyes darting between me, Josh, and Brian. Everyone was listening. Josh shifted in his seat, uncomfortable under the weight of it. Brian stared at his tray, saying nothing. I wanted them to laugh it off, to say it was fine. But I could see it written all over their faces. Me standing there just made them a bigger target. So I stopped. "Never mind," I whispered and backed away before I embarrassed them any further. I left the lunchroom, my face hot, my arms numb. By the time the final bell rang, I couldn't stand to wait for my mom to pick me up. I just started walking home. With every step, the truth sank deeper. Maybe the problem wasn't that they all looked the same. Maybe it was that I never really looked at them at all. Halfway home, I passed a middle-aged dad, cargo pants, tucked-in shirt, and white sneakers, washing his car. Normally, I would have walked right past. This time, I forced myself to really look at him. He was wearing jeans and an untucked t-shirt. He looked kind of sad, like maybe the car he was washing wasn't the car he really wanted. Or maybe him and his wife had a fight and he came outside to get away from her for a little while. As I watched him, he looked up at me and I nodded at him. "Hey," I said. He blinked, surprised, but raised his hand in a half-wave. Hey." He smiled, and for a second, he forgot about whatever was going on in his head. It wasn't much, just a word. But for the first time all day, I wasn't looking at a stereotype. I was looking at someone. And that felt like a start.
In Gotham, love stories don't end with happily ever after. They end with a punchline. The parks are quiet at night, perfect for hand-holding, whispered promises, and the kind of jokes that don't end with laughter. After all, when the wrong smile finds you in the dark, the punchline might just be written in blood. The night air in Robinson Park was cool, with just enough bite to chase the day's humidity away. Leaves scraped across the stone path, dragged by a thin wind that carried the faint tang of smoke from the city beyond the trees. The lamps lining the walkway emitted halos of weak light, each one a little pool of gold surrounded by deepening black. Beyond them, the trees stood as silhouettes, their branches clawing at the sky. Evan and Lily walked hand in hand, their shoes crunching softly against the gravel. They'd been together long enough for silence to feel comfortable, but tonight they filled it with low laughter and half-whispered jokes. It was the kind of evening that felt like it belonged only to them, quiet, safe, almost sacred. The park was deserted except for one man. He sat slouched on a bench, a battered newspaper unfolded before his face. From a distance, he looked harmless enough, another insomniac taking solace in the night. Evan squeezed Lily's hand as they walked. He tried to appear calm, but his chest was tight, every step filled with the kind of tension only Gotham could breed. Empty streets and silent spaces never stayed innocent for long.
It feels like we've got the whole place to ourselves.
Lily said, her voice hushed as though the park itself were listening.
See? Gotham's not so bad. Little fresh air, no crime for once.
Evan replied. The evening was his idea to get away from the grime of the city. She did not believe that they could go far enough away from Gotham in an evening to escape the chaotic sprees of crime and feel safe. They passed the park bench. The man continued reading without a notice of them. The sound of the pages crinkling follows them as they pass. Lily glances back, unsettled, but Evan squeezes her hand. Evan felt it, a tension humming beneath the scene, like a wrong note struck in an otherwise perfect song.
Well, well, well. Aren't you two just disgustingly adorable?
The man behind the newspaper said. The couple stops and looks at him. He is still hiding his face in the shadow.
What a pretty girl you are. Makes me sick. But then again, makes me curious. Pretty. Pretty enough to share a kiss with me, don't you think?
He slightly lifts his head, revealing a long, skinny face painted white with clean red lips, curled up into a shit-eating grin. He stands, his suit had once been purple, now faded and stained. Green hair stuck out in greasy tufts, cut in uneven clumps as though hacked with dull scissors. White paint cracked along his skin, flakes clinging to his collar. His grin is impossibly wide. Evan puts his arm in front of Lily, trying to step between her and the man. You never know what to expect from these copycat jokers. Some like the thrill and power that come from scaring people. Some are looking for money, and some are looking for worse.
We're leaving now.
Lily said firmly. The man stopped dead, then exploded into laughter so shrill it pierced the quiet night. He bent over, slapping his knee.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, honey bun?
He jabbed a finger into Evan's chest.
She thinks she can just walk away. That's precious.
Back off.
Evan demands with a shaky voice. The man laughed hysterically, mocking Evan.
Oh, look at Mr. Muscles here, puffing out his chest like a pigeon with a thyroid problem.
He looked at Lily with a judgmental smile.
You call that a protector? You'd be safer hugging a wet sponge.
He walked over to Lily and whispered in her ear.
Admit it. You dream about better men, don't you?
He leaned back, looking at the two.
This is just a meat sack, acting as a shield. One good squeeze and pop. Tell me, tough guy, when's the last time you actually fought someone, Or do you just flex in the mirror and hope nobody calls your bluff?
Evan stepped forward, fist clenched. The man applauded with exaggerated joy.
Look at him go. He's trying so hard, it's adorable, like watching a pug try to bite a bulldozer.
Evan's chest rose and fell like a piston, his fists clenched tight. He knew his strength meant nothing here. The man radiated a dangerous energy, the kind of chaos that didn't follow rules. The stranger? No, not a stranger, Evan realized with a cold rush. He'd seen the face plastered across Gotham's news feeds, heard the laughter leaking out of police radios, seen the painted grin carved into corpses. This wasn't just any lunatic copycat. This was him, the Joker. He circled them, chuckling, his laughter coming in sudden bursts like gunfire. His voice rose and fell erratically.
She's too good for you. Too pretty. Too alive. You're just a twig waiting to break.
He pauses to whisper creepily into Lily's ear.
Look around. You're the prettiest girl here.
His eyes wandered across the empty park.
You could have a real man. That could protect you. There are real crazy people out there that could take you on nice, expensive dates, not free parks, and could make you laugh till your ribs collapsed.
Evan stepped forward, shaking but determined. Joker cackled, applauding sarcastically. He pulls a flick knife from his sleeve, twirling it.
One little kiss, doll. Or I paint the sidewalk with Romeo here as he takes his last bow.
Batman will stop you.
Lily whispered. Joker froze. then bent backwards into howling laughter, so violent it echoed off the trees. He slapped his thighs and tears streamed down his face.
Batman. Oh, sweetheart. Batsy won't come for you. He doesn't care about little nobodies. If there aren't cameras, crowds, or fireworks, he's too busy brooding on his rooftop. You're not on his guest list tonight.
He continues twirling the knife, slowly taking steps towards Evan.
The Dark Knight only saves you when he can look good doing it.
The hope drained from their faces, and Joker inhaled the fear like perfume. Joker took another step towards Evan, towering over him, and put the blade to Evan's face.
Just a peck. Nothing at all. What do you say? Do I get it? Or does he?
Don't do it.
Evan told her. Joker starts a countdown theatrically.
10, 9, 8.
Lily panics, frozen. Joker stops mid-countdown and bursts into laughter.
Oh, this is too good. It's like watching my own little soap opera. 7, 6, 5.
Joker stops counting and pulls out a deck of cards. He divides the cards in half and shuffles half with his left hand and half with his right hand. Without looking, he pulls out the Joker card. He slides it over his finger, slicing it deep, revealing that the cards are razors.
Better make a decision fast before the curtain falls on Romeo. 4, 3, 2.
Evan pulled a gun and pointed it at Joker. Joker hysterically laughs at the threat. He does a little dance to Evan, puts his head to the barrel, then looks up at Evan.
Can't do it, can you?
The corners of Joker's lips nearly touch his ears, as he is filled with so much joy from Evan's hesitation.
Thought not.
Joker looked at Lily and walked to her as he talked.
Can't pull the trigger. Does he have this problem a lot? Unable to perform?
When Joker reached Lily, he leaned down to her neck and took in a huge sniff. He thinks for a second.
No, not it.
He sprints to the pond and takes a huge sniff of the water.
Still not it.
He danced back to Evan, who was still pointing the gun at him. Joker leaned into Evan and smelled him.
Yeah, there it is. I thought I smelled pussy.
Joker walks back to Lily, then stops between them. He turns back to Evan.
You're not going to do it, are you?
Bang, bang, bang! Before Evan knows what happened, Joker draws a gun and shoots Evan several times. Evan is startled and drops his gun in shock. Joker dances over to Evan's gun and picks it up, so proud of himself that all he can do is laugh. Evan is still standing in shock. Joker snaps his fingers in Evan's face.
Snap out of it. You're fine. Blanks. But thanks for the gun. This one is real, isn't it?
He aims Evan's gun at the water and fires. Bang! The water splashes from the bullet.
Ooh, I like it. For such a priss, you picked out a nice gun.
Joker points the gun at Evan.
How about that kiss? Or do we make modern art on the pavement?
Stop this. What is wrong with you?
Lily pleaded.
Please, just leave us alone.
Evan begged. The smile on Joker's face turns to anger.
Nothing is wrong with me.
What happened to you as a child?
Lily asked. Joker runs to Lily and puts the gun barrel to her head. Fury burns in Joker's eyes.
The same thing as you.
Joker turns back to Evan. Bang! Evan jerked as blood sprayed across the path. His knees buckled. He collapsed, gasping once, twice, then nothing. Lily screamed, cradling him, pressing her hands desperately against the wound. His blood pooled beneath them, warm and endless.
Evan,
Her voice cracked.
stay with me, please.
Joker crouched beside her, peering like a child watching ants.
Touching. Absolutely heartbreaking. But the audience demands an encore.
Lily looked up at him, eyes blazing through tears.
You're a monster.
Joker's smile sharpened.
No, darling. I'm the comedian.
She stood and faced the Joker, then she spat. The spit struck his cheek. The grin vanished. For a moment, he was still, silent. His painted face was unreadable. Then the laughter returned, jagged and violent, echoing through the park.
Oh, bravo. Spit in the clown's face. That's rich. You've got fire, sweetheart. I like fire. I love it right before I put it out.
Joker pulled out his razor-sharp playing cards again and fanned them out like a magician. He flicks a card across Lily's cheek as it cuts deep, blood spilling. Lily stammered back, but Joker lunges and slashes her again.
Knock, knock.
He starts as he takes another slash at her arm. Still not recovered from Evan or the cuts, she said nothing.
Knock, knock.
She still didn't respond, and she stayed in a state of shock, slowly taking another step back.
Answer me, bitch.
He growled at her.
Who's there?
She didn't even know she had said it.
Just the punchline. And this one kills.
He throws the card straight at her throat, hitting her trachea. She fell to the ground, gasping for air.
Oh, and she dies playing along. That's dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a hand.
He rolled his hand and outstretched it towards her, giving a bow. For a moment, Joker just breathed. He stared down at them, heads turned slightly toward each other, faces slack and still. Then he crouched, dipping his gloved fingers into Evan's wound. He smeared blood across the young man's lips, curving it into a grotesque red grin. He did the same to Lily, pressing her lips into a painted smile.
There,
He said softly.
see? Now that's true love, smiling forever. No arguments, no breakups, no boring little picnics. A couple that laughs together, dies together. Oh, love stories are my favorite genre.
He angled their heads, arranging them cheek to cheek like dolls. A parody of intimacy, a portrait of love rewritten as cruelty. Joker stepped back, admiring his work. His chest rose with pride, like a painter before a finished canvas.
A masterpiece.
He whispered.
Better than Romeo and Juliet. Funnier, too.
He wiped his bloody hands on the crumpled newspaper, smearing red across the faded ink, and tossed it aside. Then he began to hum, a broken carnival tune. He skipped down the path, laughter bubbling up until it filled the night. Mad, unending, triumphant. When it finally faded, Robinson Park was silent again. The swings creaked in the breeze, and on the path, the young couple lay smiling forever in the Joker's final joke.
Once, in a city of marble towers and spires kissed by clouds, there lived a boy named Edward. He was the youngest bloom of the House of Velt, a lineage so proud their name was carved into fountains, whispered in gilded courts, and sung by poets who longed for coin. The Velts were renowned for their wealth, refinement, and unyielding devotion to expanding their empire. Much like one tends a garden, each generation was cultivated like rare orchids. But Edward was different. Though raised with lace and gold, his heart beat to a humbler tune. He often slipped beyond the iron gates of the estate, wandering cobbled streets where wood smoke curled in the air and laughter from low windows carried a warmth no palace ever knew. It was there, on a crooked little lane of leaning houses, that he first saw her. Lena, a girl of wind-blushed cheeks and calloused hands, whose eyes, dark and unflinching, seemed to see through every mask in the world. She folded paper into birds that seemed alive, each one light as breath, and she sold them for a single coin. But it was not her craft alone that drew Edward close. It was her voice. She sang as she worked, a sound like starlight poured into a mortal throat. Her songs coaxed color from the gray streets and made weary vendors pause their haggling to listen. Edward bought a bird that day, then another and then another, and soon she no longer asked for payment. They met in secret under the glow of lanterns and frost-laced eaves. They spoke of dreams, of stars, and of how love might grow even in the barren soil of nothingness. At night, when the city's lights guttered out one by one, Lena's songs would drift softly through the hush. Beneath the winter moon, they sat by the great fountain of fish and turtles, her voice weaving spells into the frosted air. Her gown was threadbare, her face streaked with the dust of long days, but Edward saw only beauty, as though no grime could ever dull her light. One evening, emboldened by love, Edward asked her to dine at the Velt estate. At 6 bells the following night, Lena arrived in her best gown. She spent all day scrubbing out old stains and pressing it until there was not a single wrinkle. The feast was a wonder fit for kings and princes. The table groaned beneath roasted duck glazed with cranberry and orange, golden Duchess potatoes stacked like little crowns, and a pineapple cake so sweet it seemed summer itself had been baked within it. Lena, though unaccustomed to such splendor, carried herself with the quiet dignity of the wildflowers, humble yet unbowed. She ate with care, spoke with gentleness, and smiled as Edward's parents, Benedict and Augusta, bombarded her with a flurry of questions, their voices smooth as silk but heavy with hidden weights. They asked of what trade she was seeking, how she liked living in the city their family had established, what the people of the town thought of them, and many other things that gratified them more, for each answer was but a mirror in which they sought their own grandeur. At length Edward broke their shallow chatter. His eyes softened as he turned to her. "Where did you learn to sing so sweetly, as though the wind itself lent you its voice?" "My father," Lena says, her voice like warm bread on a winter night. "He is a musician. Each day he plays his violin in the town square. From my youngest years, he has taught me to weave melody, as he weaves his bow across the strings." "He plays for coins, then?" Augusta asks, her tone sharp as a knife slipped between ribs. "No, madam," Lena replies. "He plays for the people, shopkeepers, children, travelers. Some offer coins, yes, but many offer thanks and smiles. Among the merchants, he is held in great regard." Benedict leans forward, eyes curious. "Tell me, what of your family's holdings? Their investments? Their wealth?" "With respect," says Lena, keeping her gaze steady though her cheeks burned, "I do not see how my family's possessions concern the matter of courtship." "It has everything to do with it," growls the man. "Courtship is no fleeting fancy. It is a sowing for the future. Without secure investments, the harvest will fail." "Our visions of success may differ," says Lena, her hands folded neatly in her lap. "But my parents have always provided for our home. We have known need, yes, but never hunger of the soul." Edward opens his mouth, seeking to steer the storm to calmer shores, but his mother's voice strikes the room like a blast of icy wind through a January window. "You seem a lovely girl," she says coldly, "but I forbid this relationship from taking root." "Mother!" Edward cries, leaping to his feet. "How can you speak so? This family," she declares, rising like a queen before her court, "has labored through generations to shape a world of refinement and intellect. It is wit and will that elevate us above the, how shall I say, simple-minded. She is not simple-minded." Edward's voice cracks with fury. "She is ordinary. Her father's father played in the streets. Her father does the same. And so will she, forever bound to small lives and smaller dreams. Is that the future you wish for your son? Begging scraps for your children?" Tears shimmer in Lena's eyes, but her voice does not tremble. "Have you ever felt the joy of children dancing to the music you make?" "No," Augusta says, "nor the shame of sending a child to bed hungry or to a party they were excited about in stained clothes." Lena flees the table, her tears falling silent upon the marble floors. Edward runs after her, catching her in the foyer. "Wait, don't go." "My father is a great man," she whispers brokenly. "Then let's leave. I need no one but you. Meet me under the bridge at midnight." She presses her trembling hand to his cheek, then vanishes into the cold. But Edward never reached the bridge. His father listened to their plan from around the corner and locked him in his chamber. Edward beat the walls until his hands ran red, but no escape came. At dawn, his mother appears in morning gray, a newspaper folded in her grasp. "I thought you should see this," she says. The headline struck like a blade, "Young woman found dead in river." A crude sketch depicts a girl in a simple dress, her limbs entangled in reeds. "They say she slipped on the frozen stones beneath the bridge," she murmurs. "Such a pity." She walks away, leaving him there with his grief. Years passed. Edward never wed. In winter, when snow cloaked the city in silence, he often walked the old bridge where lanterns no longer burned. Some nights, beneath a full moon, he swore he saw her eyes open, drifting under the glassy ice, waiting still. Though the papers named it accident, Edward never learned whether it was frost or the coldness of his mother's heart that stilled Lena's song. One truth haunted him all his life. The obligations of the mind will always triumph over the passions of his heart.